Welcome back everyone, Oz here. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.
AskReddit. People in stock photos. What's the weirdest way you've seen your photos being used? When I was a kid, my mom took me for a photo shoot. Then, a month later, I was on a pamphlet that said, "Millions of children don't have homes. Adopt one today." That's sad. Did you ever get adopted? I ended up finding myself on one of those now hiring posts on Facebook for a company I was trying to get hired at. He's literally the guy in the picture. We want someone exactly like him, but with more experiences of being him. Imagine going in for the interviews and seeing this guy walk in ahead of you and then looking at the wall and seeing his damn face in the hiring poster. Triple bonus points if he wears the same outfit to the interview. Interviewer discreetly but urgently wondering if his cold meds are kicking in too hard or if the receptionist is seeing this also. I'm on the opposite end. I'm a graphic designer, so I spend a lot of time on stock photo sites and I have so many questions. Some of the photos I've seen, there's no possible context that would make sense for any of them to be used anywhere. Commercial photographer here, I looked into doing stock at one point, and the advice that was given was to shoot anything and everything as long as it's high resolution and good quality. Somebody out there is likely to use it. That's my guess as to why there's so many weird stock photos out there. It's just a numbers game for some photographers. I'm in the header of my university's grad school application. Whenever someone posts a screenshot of their acceptance email, Facebook facial recognition asks if I want to tag myself. I would click yes on all of them just to confuse people. Technically, he wouldn't be lying if he were to do so. My cousin took a photo of me wrestling my sister at a family reunion a few years back, and it somehow wound up on an online forum about domestic abuse. I had a few of my friends messaging me who were obviously very confused. Why were a few of your friends on a domestic abuse forum? One person finds it and says, "Hey, yo, is this Greg?" to another, and it gets passed around. I did a stock photo shoot about 10 years ago, and my photos show up in the weirdest places. 3 ex-boyfriends had texted me out of the blue after my stock photos showed up in their work training modules. Someone in my senior capstone class used my photos in their class presentation and didn't realize it was me until everyone kept awkwardly looking at the screen and looking back at me. Every so often my face pops up in a sassy black lady meme, paired with some text like, "Devil don't try me today," or "Too blessed to be stressed, type amen if you agree." The weirdest in my opinion, my mom decided to join some crappy MLM makeup company because she was flipping through their catalog and saw that they had used one of my old stock photos as one of their makeup models. I was very obviously not wearing their makeup in the photos, and my stock photo didn't match any of the other models' photos. Basically, whoever designed the catalog was like, "Oh snap, we need some diversity in here." But they were too lazy to actually hire another model, so they just grabbed a stock photo of a black chick and called it a day. The strange thing is that my mother joined the company because my photo was in the catalog, but she had to have known that I wasn't wearing the company's makeup because she personally did my makeup for that stock photo shoot 5+ years ago. My family did a stock photo shoot when our kids were young, like 1 and 3. A picture they took on our porch ended up in the opening credits for Americans. That's pretty cool. Has anybody you know ever noticed it on the show and asked you? No, the image in the credits has ripped pics of the actors' faces over our faces, so we'd never be recognized. My ex used to work with a local photographer who is apparently pretty well known. He took a photo of me and my family, and now it's a permanent piece at the New Mexico Museum of Art in Santa Fe. So strange. I wonder how many people's houses I'm in. I don't live too far from there. Now I kinda want to search for that picture next time I go. There it is. I'm the one in the front with my little friend Aragog. A, nice spider name, and B, is that your dad in the hot tub? Like, holy f***, he is so cool. I was asked to go to a big opening event party for a park in China. As a foreigner, this kind of thing is pretty common. They want some white faces. Free food and drink, all the other guests had to pay. But in the end, they start guilt tripping me. "Put on this traditional Chinese costume," they say. Some kind of kung fu looking robe thing. "Let us take some pictures," they say. Fine, I let them do it. A few weeks go by and random people start pointing me out in public. My students are giggling in class. Finally, when I'm out and about, someone approaches me. "Are you the guy from..." and shows me a picture on the phone. My likeness in Chinese traditional wear has been printed on building-sized billboards around the city. I look goofy as fuck all around the city where I live and work. Not me, but my best friend. He did a photo shoot in some construction worker garb and a hard hat. We live in North California, USA. I'm on a business trip to Chicago and I stopped by a Walmart for some supplies. I'm in the men's work clothes aisle and there's my buddy, prominently on the wrapping of 50-ish packages of work shirts. It was a weird, wait, where am I moment. I knew he did some modeling, but not specifics. I sent him a pic. He had no idea it had been used. The guy is in every Walmart in the country and had no idea. I'm in an ad campaign in my home state in Australia for the government. I'm the face of don't buy alcohol for underage people. It's just me, looking like a dad who's thinking of buying a drink, obviously for a teenager somewhere. Ironically, I don't actually have my own kids. I get emails from people I haven't heard from in years saying, I saw you on the wall of the bottle shop, which is kind of funny. This takes place many, many years ago when foreigners were a rare sight in Japan. I'm a big, friendly-looking white guy, and I was asked to do some photos of a couple on a date. So I go around to some scenic locals with a beautiful Japanese woman, the photographer and his assistants. Fun day. Took tons of romantic photos, and that was the end of it. Until a month or two later when my date and I showed up on posters all over the subway as part of an AIDS awareness campaign, because you can catch that from foreigners, you know. Needless to say, my friends and coworkers thought it was hilarious, and amazingly, it didn't have any noticeable impact on my dating life. Looking back, my only regret is that I didn't steal one of those posters. Similar thing happened to my trainer a couple years ago. He was running a marathon for an AIDS benefit. One of the things people don't realize is your participation often includes a waiver for all the photos taken at the event. His finish line photo becomes the face of overcoming AIDS adversity in a big ad campaign. The problem is, he trains a bunch of boxing and MMA guys. You cannot participate in those sports if you have AIDS and other blood-transmitted diseases. So, it created a big issue for him with some of his pro clients. I had my photo taken in high school studying with my friend at the time. Almost 5 years later, my brother said I was in the county brochure for library services. The picture was most likely chosen because of the diversity, Asian girl and a black girl. Oh, this reminded me of my college in the UK. They used a photo of non-white students taken in an in-house photographer on the front page of their International Students Office brochure. The issue is that both students in that photo were British, born and raised. They were not happy. I got used as a person with intellectual disabilities. I also did not know my photo was going to be used for anything. I didn't even know I was in a stock photo until my grandma bought a picture frame at Sears with my T-ball team picture in it. One of my daughters has a few stock photos out there. It's always odd seeing her face unexpectedly. It doesn't happen super regularly, but it makes me double take when it happens. A friend of ours was in a commercial for herpes medication a couple of years after we graduated college, and we recognized him randomly while watching a show with my mother-in-law. We were like, hey, it's our friend from school. We went to a school with strong religious ties, and my mother-in-law is very religious. Right after we said this, my mother-in-law was appalled and said, wait, he has herpes? When I was a senior in high school, I was chosen to do a stock photo shoot for a big health company. They didn't tell me what they were going to use my pictures for. I was just excited to get free clothes and a tiny bit of cash. The way I found out how they used my photo was when I went to the gynecologist about a year later and saw my picture on the wall. I was the face of teenage pregnancy counseling. Edit, I was definitely not pregnant. I actually think I was still a virgin when the photo shoot happened. The university took a bunch of professional photos of me and some friends for their billboards and campaigns. I was pretty surprised to open a handbook and find out I was the face of their fine arts program, especially pottery. I was a neuroscience major. My father's a photographer, and so my sister and I were models for stock photography. I was on shopping bags in Mexico, my sister was in a bank brochure. My favorite though is when my sister's high school science class was reading from a textbook and she sees a picture of me putting mascara on in a mirror. She yelled out to the class, hey, that's my sister. Apparently it gave everyone a good laugh. On a less funny note, I was a kinda chubby kid, so my dad did a whole shoot of me in a gray tracksuit looking sad on a scale, and pinching my belly fat in the mirror, etc. Ended up being used in a child obesity campaign. He didn't tell me what it was used in until years later. I let a photographer friend take a stock photo of me. I looked sad in it, and it ended up in some website about victims of abuse. My whole family modeled back in the 80s. Somehow my dad ended up in a brochure for some born-again church that said he was a sinner and adulterer until he found Jesus. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more Ask Reddit stuff, then click on the playlist in the end screen card. But if you want to see me rag on some anti-vaxxers and make fun of science deniers, then click on my r/insane people Facebook video. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.